This is India, a country with a rich heritage of traditions, monuments and sacred sites. Sadly, through the years, more historic monuments have been destroyed, more artifacts stolen, and more oral traditions have been lost forever.
From a small group of concerned citizens, INTAC has now developed into a large national movement.
There is now a very strong network of people who are interested, dedicated to the preservation.
As a matter of fact, the dimensions of INTAC are every day expanding.
It works at the level of the built heritage, which is very significant. It's the most obvious and tangible form and expression of heritage.
My focus was on two or three things. Firstly, to professionalize, to bring about systems. There was no finance person earlier, appointed a financial controller.
It's been a remarkable journey, and it has made quite a difference, a significant difference to the better of the country.
Our mandate is 33% advocacy, 33% awareness programs, and 33% projects to show people how it can be done and what is the possibility.
The Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, or INTAC, was founded in 1984 to protect the thousands of monuments not listed under the Archaeological Survey of India. Today, INTAC is the premier autonomous non-governmental organization dedicated to conserve and preserve India's natural, cultural, living, tangible and intangible heritage.
We are working more recently some of the ghats in Varanasi, Balaji Ghat, Ganga Mahal, but public places have not been looked after for many years for many reasons, and these are the buildings that we are now trying to conserve and protect for the future.
I would say the biggest achievement, and it was to suggest amendments to the ASI Act, or entrusted with the task of laying down regulations for monuments.
INTAC plays a vital role in listing, documentation and conservation of heritage buildings and precincts all over the country. At Amritsar, INTAC is restoring and reusing a hospital as a craft centre. In Kashmir, one of the Emporium buildings destroyed by fire has been restored and saved as a result of INTAC's efforts.
I look at INTAC growing organically, spreading all over the country, reaching out to all cities, towns and villages.
INTAC has pioneered many heritage initiatives in Mumbai, like the Gateway of India, Victoria Terminus and the Afghan Church.
The Bhavaraji Lal Museum is an extraordinary project. We were looking for a place to set up an INTAC conservation lab, and I found it in the most incredibly deplorable condition. With the INTAC Material Heritage Division and with experts from INTAC, we were able to do an amazing restoration job. It is where all forms of cultural expression can come and find a platform so that there's something in the museum for everyone to come to.
The Art and Material Heritage Division of INTAC was started in 1985. We focus on region-wise demand for conservation. For example, in South India, we have wooden objects, we have traditional Indian paintings like Tanjore, Mysore and things like that. At Lucknow Center, we are looking at paper conservation and manuscripts. Similarly, in Delhi, we are doing at oil paintings or sculptures or metals or wall paintings, you name it, and we do it.
The Heritage Division of INTAC has conserved and restored paintings of masters like Raja Ravi Verma, Amrita Shergill and contemporary painters like Souza and M.F. Hussain. This has been a challenge because of the different types of media used. Calcutta, once the capital of British India, has a large number of colonial buildings. INTAC is involved in restoring the Writers' Building and the St. Paul's Cathedral. INTAC was approached by the National Museum, Denmark, to restore the Danish heritage of Serampore. There are still remnants of Danish architecture, like the North and South Gates and the Governor's House. INTAC is involved in restoring the magnificent South Gate.
This is remarkable work that INTAC has done. Yes, some of us have sat in North Block and South Block or in Shastri Bhavan, but we haven't done all this. The work has been done by craftsmen.
And therefore, INTAC keeps on insisting that we make these people as our icons.
INTAC Heritage Academy runs programs for training and capacity building in all aspects of heritage conservation and management.
We have been doing a lot of work in the field, and now we realize that this work needs to be backed up with scientific research, with training opportunities.
INTAC works with traditional building materials and with traditional craftsmen and masons on their conservation project sites in a scientific, informed and structured manner.
Urban biodiversity is an area which we are addressing at the moment by developing a model for enhancing habitats in the urban area.
The Natural Heritage Division advocates the sustainable use of natural resources, undertakes projects on eco-restoration and conservation and creation of environmental assets. Till now, conservation was seen as a very tangible building-oriented entity. INTAC transformed that and broadened the outlook from buildings to natural heritage, to material heritage and to intangible heritage.
With that in mind, we've started holistic cultural mapping of communities. We're doing a number of projects across the country with the Santals in Jharkhand, the Bhils in Gujarat, the Kinnoras in Himachal, and so on.
This knowledge, the traditional knowledge, has to be not just preserved in databases of CSIR and so on, but we have to see that there is a continuation and a conservation which goes to the future.
To imbibe cultural values, a Heritage Education and Communication Service in INTAC was set up. And we start the process with schools and colleges because they say it's very important to catch children when they are young, because that's the age when you cement your values. So we are running a network of around 2,500 heritage clubs across the country.
The Heritage Education and Communication Service Division is dedicated to spreading awareness among young people about India's natural, built and cultural heritage.
We've worked with many craft people all over India. So it's Jaisalmer, Chanderi, Gwalior, Raghurajpur. What we try and do is we hold design workshops so that we give them design input We try and cut the middleman out so that the product reaches directly and they benefit mostly from it.
Even UNESCO is now talking about traditional creative industries that could be used to revive the economy. So conservation could also be an economic generator, like in Chanderi or even Pondicherry.
So as we go around in the town, you will see the French part of the town, which has a lot of beautiful buildings restored. One of the first projects where we restored an old private residence into a hotel, what is in fact today become one of the landmarks of Pondicherry, Hotel de Lorient, where we restored an old French building into a heritage hotel.
It is satisfying when you see a place springing back to life, when even a small effort has made a difference to the town and to the community. Intact's mission to conserve heritage is based on the belief that living in harmony with heritage enhances the quality of life